Dear friends, hello, welcome back to the channel, welcome to the third video, and I think it's going to be the final video today unless something goes completely wrong or completely right with MCOC. So this video is going to be all about week 2. I was going to make this video yesterday, but hey, variant stuff. Wanted to stream it, wanted to do that. Kind of regretting that, but you know, at least say it was done. Any case, woo, we're spinning around here. But yeah, I want to talk about week 2 of the side event, and this is going to be from the legendary perspective, but it still counts for those that are doing the epic version. I just want to give some thoughts. Now, I've just 100%ed it, and I wanted to go over some of the champions that I've used, also other champions that other players have recommended as well at the same time. So yeah, my champions, other players' champions, what has worked, what has not worked, and just talk about the side event. So I mean, as a lot, you know, you can kind of like, if you, I don't know if kabam patched it, you can actually kind of like redo an extra path of 100% completed of the side quest and pick up some of the rewards. I'm not doing that because at the end of the day I still have to, you know, go through the 100%ing of it. So the side event, Cataclysm Alien Assault, okay, this is all about aliens. Yeah, okay, I get it, it's all about cosmic beings, extraterrestrials, whatever, of which there could be a lot more fairer champions chosen, but kabam decided to go with the ones they went with. So first of all, slight little kind of, do you know what, I'm going to start with the negative and then with the positive. The negative is talking about how much it is a bad type of side event. The one thing that side events should be, or side quests and stuff like that, is all about pace. More so when they do side quests like this, so the quest side of things. Pace is important, and doing things quickly is important. If it's taking a lot of players, like myself, I have an advantage that I've got 6-star rank 3 champions, and I'm able to do this with no kind of issues. There may be in a couple times I lost a few champions, maybe through silly mistakes, or maybe because I got bat-shit bored. I literally got bored out of my mind going up against some of these champions. That's the problem. Boredom with it. Boredom and pace. So the pace in which you kind of want to get the side quest done, because look, this stuff is meant to be like 10 minutes and done, or kind of less than that and done. It's sometimes, if you're not running suicide masteries, or at the same time don't have the right champions, which a lot of people are experiencing, it can be seen as very frustrating. The end boss is fine, but when we're looking at 400k health point champions, and we're looking at the likes of Terox, we're looking at the likes of Korg and Super Scroll on one particular easy path with no kind of like, well, what we'd hope to be issues, and it can become frustrating, especially looking at the fact that, oh look, there's a Mojo there, that's fun. Also, you're going to need a counter for Arcus, that's fun. Do you have Dr. Doom? No. Do you have a lot of the champions that a lot of players are kind of recommended? Maybe you don't, and that again that becomes the frustration side of things. I'm going to be covering this tomorrow in the Marvel Contest of Champions news show, which if you don't know, I do a news-based Marvel Contest of Champions show every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and also do like a kind of a show where I kind of talk about what's coming in the next week, but I'll be talking that more in depth then, and also bringing together some stuff. But as I said, like, I want to premise this video between talking about like the negative and ranty stuff, but also kind of like focus on, look, unfortunately we've got to do it. Kabam aren't going to change it anytime soon, and they don't learn from the mistakes, so unfortunately we've got to get on with doing it. So let's talk about some of the champions that are being used, and also some footage from my particular interactions, some champions that work quite well, some takedowns and stuff like that, which will be springing up in a moment across me talking about the various different champions to go against, the fights and champion options. Right, let's get into it. If you just heard a lot of whirring noise a moment ago, that is my computer. I had something that was taking up some extra memory open at the time, so apologies there. But yeah, let's get right into it. So I've put in the description info of those champions being used. I've seen many players talk about, and you know, from my perspective, over the top route I used, obviously you have to use Ikaris, but I decided to use with that a combination of Black Widow, Clairvoyant and Dr. Doom. Sym Supreme works well, and I've also seen players use Diablo in order to take it down. So a lot of strong mystic based champions. You could even go down the route of saying, because the top route gives a fight or flight every 12 seconds, the defender gains an unstoppable buff for 4 seconds. If the attack is far away, they don't get it unstoppable, so creating distance. It's something to kind of mention. This absolute annoyance, which is Mojo, could be the result of you kind of like taking account of like Human Torch as well against this. So if you're looking for another option, maybe some kind of like strong mystic that's able to kind of like strong mystic or strong science champion that's able to deal with this as well. Especially do bear in mind that you know, you only have 2 available strong champion slots, because you got that 3-star, which is a bit restrictive for some of the content you're going up against, but isn't too bad. Down the center is a problem. We'll end with that one. The far right hand side does require champions to really take on things like the Arcus, and finding ways to suppress things might actually be quite an important thing. I've seen players use Black Widow Clairvoyant. Myself, I used Human Torch for Magik, and for the Arcus and Silver Surfer fight, I used Dr. Doom. But any Mystic that's strong in dealing with any of these would suffice. But I would say exert caution when it comes to the frozen elements that Arcus has, because you're going to have to find an option. Maybe Human Torch could be that particular option, especially with, I think how the Incinerate works is it suppresses power with Human Torch, especially on your rotation. But and I think that's like a lot of people rotating around the medium light medium element. But any other champion can really do this if they've got that kind of suppression of power gain, but also, you know, maybe your Magics, maybe just Black Widow Clairvoyant, possibly. It just depends on rotation and things working. Symbiote Supreme could be an option, but again, you know, that's down to what you've got in your roster, and that's the thing. And not a lot of players are going to have an expansive roster, especially at Cavalier, trying to do this for the very first time. So I would put, and one of the big things is put boosts on. If you got some boosts, put them on. It may help out, especially putting boosts on at the start to get that that health boost is going to be quite an important thing as well. So what else? I think finishing off with the middle lane, and this is where things get a little bit annoying and tricky. The champions I used taking on this were Dr. Doom, Apocalypse, and Namor. Okay, I kind of felt like Apocalypse wasn't, even though it was an option to take down Korg, may have not been that kind of like most favourable option, and maybe it was something that down the line I might have kind of thought about changing my options against Super Scroll, and that's just like down to myself. Maybe that was a mistake. I actually lost Apocalypse, and I just wasn't rotating correctly on that, and just wasn't enjoying it. But then when I used Dr. Doom, everything was fine. Using Dr. Doom against Super Scroll, great, that worked out okay. And then I saved him. I could use him if I wanted to against Korg, which I have done in the past, but it's more of a beneficial thing for me to use the likes of Namor. Namor, as a solid option, takes on the likes of Korg, and as well takes on Terex. But do bear in mind, not just saying that those are the only options, that are indeed other champions. Diablo, again, can be helpful leading up to this. Black Widow Clairvoyant is another one. Magik, Bishop, I've seen Stryfe, Professor X, Omega Red, the list goes on. Some really kind of favourable options of mutants. Can be really good against Korg, but as well looking at, you know, options against Terex as well. So it's kind of like a double whammy there of champion usages. And then we've got a Nihilist. It's kind of like ending on a Nihilist because he's annoying. Oh, and one other thing as well with the far right hand corner, Bane. I don't know why Kabam put in these silly little things from time to time, like Bane. Why is this needed? You definitely notice this more as when you use rank 5. 5 stars, so I would say if you have a health boost, put it on at the start of that, going down that path. It's just annoying. There's nothing except for like, well, there's nothing on that particular route, except for the health pool is just like massive. And then you've got a Nihilist right at the very end. He's got Bubble Shield, and he's also got Rolling Thunder. The Bubble Shield is relatively annoying, and anything that really suppresses things like Unstoppable would be the way to go. Stagger rotations, really kind of like put different options in play, whether or not you're going to use Diablo for it, whether or not, and I heard people use Professor X against this, and I personally liked Dr. Doom, so that's the one I used for that one. So yeah, I think it's just a case of like, pick whatever is your top counter for a Nihilist, but at the same time, don't be so reliant on your block. Unfortunately, times I was very reliant on the block, and that's just a case of like just understanding where the fight is. It's a very aggressive champion as well, so you just got to like literally take some time, just kind of feel out the champion. I did a lot of intercepting. That helped out a lot to kind of figure out where I was going with this, and as well with Dr. Doom to kind of reapply my staggers to get those shocks on, to then do the Doom slap. That felt, you know, relatively good to kind of like get that. If you are looking for a bit of like consistency with stuff and you have White Magneto, it could be an option as well to get that passive stun right off the bat to kind of guarantee yourself that you'll kind of and I think it's the case you can use that and kind of like see it more consistently, because with some champions against the Nihilist it's just not there. But yeah, Dr. Doom is it's like helps out a lot with this. It's just a bit of a shame with some of the other kind of paths aren't that great, and some of the other champion ideas and placements just aren't that good. There's lots of other different aliens, especially in the cosmic variety, that could have been better chosen for this. You could even choose like the likes of Yondu, Nebula, but instead Kabam decided to go for this. Oh yes, they were robots, but you know it's still kind of like space beings. Yondu more so, because it's like he's a proper alien. But it is what it is. It was what it was. That has been a little video. Check out some info in the description. Make sure as well to check out and support some other content located on screen right now. And I'll see you all in the next video, whenever that will be. Have a good one. Bye bye.